Today I'm going to share with you what's on my iPad and the accessories that I have. I will start with my accessories. The Apple Pencil I have is the first generation, where you have to plug into the iPad in order to charge. I also have a pen grip that my friend gifted to me. It helped me a lot when writing for a long time with my Apple Pencil. If I can find anything similar, I will link it down below. The case that I have right now is from Amazon, and you can find a lot on Amazon depending on which iPad generation you have. The thing I like the most about this case is that it has a space to hold your Apple Pencil so you can carry it with your iPad as one. It is also made of silicone, so it's really protective and flexible. You can fold the case in many directions depending on what you are doing on your iPad. As you can see, I have a screen protector that I didn't put on really well. It's a brand called Paperlike, and it's quite pricey. It's supposed to mimic the feeling of writing on paper, but I think you can find matte screen protectors on Amazon that are great alternatives. The iPad I have is a 7th generation in a white color with a silver back. I have my first name and last name initial engraved in the back. Now onto the apps on my iPad. When I originally bought this iPad, I solely wanted to use it for school, for taking notes in lectures. So I don't have many social media apps on here because I don't want to distract myself. I want to show you the apps that I frequently use, and I'll start with podcast because I got into the habit of listening to different shows during the pandemic, and as you can see, I have all the subscribed shows in here. The second app that I've oftenly used I recommend is the calculator, since iPad doesn't come with a calculator app. I also have it on the sidebar, which is pretty convenient, and I usually use it to calculate my marks. Onto the second page, I don't really use the apps on the top, but it's really nice to have them. The next must-have app is called Student, where I have all my course information in there. I have Messenger, Google Drive, which are pretty self-explanatory. I have a translator app beside the Google Drive, which I sometimes use. Among all the apps below, the app that I frequently use is Spotify. It's just another way for me to listen to music or any other podcast. Onto the last page, I have WeChat, which is a must-have for me to contact my family members and my other friends. The only other two social medias that I often use are YouTube and Instagram. I use YouTube when I'm trying to relax and watch some videos, and Instagram is pretty straightforward. Even though I have Prime Video on my iPad, I don't really use it since my mom is the one who's mostly using it. Next, I have two folders on my iPad. The first one is for my drawing apps. The one I oftenly use is a Procreate, where I have different drawings for my videos, or when relaxing, I have some doodling here like this one. My friend uses the other apps, and I just have it here for her. The next folder is for video editing apps, but since I usually edit my videos on my laptop, I don't really use these apps. The last app on this page is a must-have, which is Zoom, since everything has moved online this year. Lastly, I will show you what's on my dock. I have Safari, Outlook for my school emails, voice memo, files, settings, and I have my recently opened apps on the right. Lastly, in this video, I want to talk about GoodNotes and Notability, and the most asked question online is definitely which one's better. When I first started using iPad for note-taking purposes, I was having the same question, and I watched endless videos on it. I couldn't decide, so I downloaded both. They both cost money, $10.99 for GoodNotes and $11.99 for Notability, and I just want to share my thoughts on both in this video. When you first open GoodNote, you have all your documents listed, and you have search where you can search up your own notes, including written ones. You have shared and favorites. One thing I really like about GoodNote is that you can create files within files, and it's really easy to organize. You can create many different document types, and as an example, I will create a new notebook here. You have many cover options depending on your like, and there are many different paper templates for different purposes, either for taking notes or creating journals, and you can even write music in the app. When you enter the notebook that just created, there are many tools on the top for you to use in the app. The first one will be the pen, and there are different colors on the right side and different pen sizes, and you can change according to your like. You can also change the paper template on the right top corner if you do not like the template that you're using right now. In the app, they already have some presets for pen colors, but you can customize some colors that you like, and you can add them by clicking Edit. To the right, you have eraser, but you only have 3 sizes to choose from. Then you have the highlighter, where you have different colors and you can customize depending on your like as well, and you can also change the sizes. The next one is for drawing shapes. It will recognize the shapes that you're trying to draw and straighten out the lines. The next one is when you want to change anything that you have written or draw on the page, either the color or size. The next two are used when you want to insert any pictures. You can also type in the notebook if you don't want to use the Apple Pencil to write. The last feature is the laser point, and you have 2 options. This feature is really cool when you want to emphasize on your notes without physically change any drawings or writings on the note. On the top left corner, you can open and see all the pages that you currently have, and you can also flag them to add them in your favorites. Now on to Notability. As you can see, Notability has a different layout than GoodNotes, where you have all your organized notes on the left side. In Notability, you can add different subject. It's like file in GoodNotes. You can also add divider to group the subjects that you have. You can change the subject names and color code them. You can also change the names for the dividers. One downside about Notability is that you have to spend more money in the app to purchase any stickers, templates, or themes that they offer. When you want to create any new note in subject, you can click on the right top corner. You can change the title of the note directly on the top. It has similar lookings to GoodNote, where its tools are all located on the top. The first option is text, where you can type in any notes. The second option is a pen, and as you can see, they lay out all the options for you. The first 2 pages are the color presets that they already have in the app, and then you can also customize your colors and add them. In Notability, they actually have the color wheel, which potentially gives you more options. This applies to the highlighter feature as well. Next to the highlighter is the eraser, and they have more size options. The next one is similar to GoodNote, where you can change your drawings or writings depending on your like. The second last feature allows you to drag your notes with your Apple Pencil. The last feature is a laser point that they just updated. One of the biggest selling points of Notability is its voice recording feature, and I would say it is worth it. There are numerous times where I forgot to stop voice recording in the voice memo app, and this feature is really convenient while I'm taking notes and recording lectures at the same time. You can also change the playback speed, and I will show you where you are at a specific point of the recording. By clicking on the right top corner, you can view all the pages you have, flag any important ones, and search by entering any keywords. By using the adding tool, you can add any pictures, document scans, or stickers to your notes. Beside the adding button, you have the options where you can change the paper templates or paper colors. By sliding to the right on the left side, you can view all the recent notes that you opened. That's all the basic features in GoodNote and Notability. When I first started using my iPad, I was using GoodNote. However, after 1 semester, I switched to Notability. There's one feature that bothered me a lot in GoodNote is that I'm not able to zoom out on my notes when I turn my iPad vertically. I can only do this in Notability. I know it doesn't sound like a huge deal to a lot of people, but for me, I like to see how my notes are fitting together, and I will show you one situation where this feature becomes really important. I had one assignment where I had to do a page of summary for one big physiology chapter, and that zoom out feature becomes really important because you want to see how information are fitted together and make sure everything look organized and nice, and I'm only able to do this in Notability. Both two apps have pros and cons, and I've listed only the pros here. GoodNote has a lot of paper templates and you do not have to spend any extra money. Notability has more paper colors, but you need to spend extra bucks for these paper templates. When I was using GoodNote, I found it was more capable of searching my handwritten notes compared to Notability. But in Notability, I do think the voice recording is worth the money. I do think GoodNote is easier to organize with its files and layout because I had to Google how to use the divider and subjects for Notability. However, I do really like how Notability listed all size options for pens, highlighters, and eraser compared to GoodNote, where I was spending a lot of time adjusting to the size I want. Also, as I mentioned, the zoom out feature really pushed me to switch to Notability. In the end, I do think it's a personal preference on which one you choose to use, but I don't regret of having both apps. That's all I have to share with my iPad.